clip that out.
Yeah.
All right. So
Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Our Father, we give all praise and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Hamashiach, H.O.I. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth, that is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debtors, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from all sin and evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Thank Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Hamashiach, H.O.I. Kwam Yashua.
Inshallah.
all right. So shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
Happy destruction of Nicanor. All praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Hamashiach, H.O.I. The water brother Rob Judah, Slake Judah, and HOI for letting us be able to gather destruction of Nicanor with y'all. This feast day, a lot of people don't understand how our people really like went through it on this feast. That's how this feast day came about, and we're gonna really read it in the scripture, the account of how this feast day came about. All the negative, wicked cruelty or people had to endure that led up to this feast day. All right, so this happened around the Hellenistic period. All right, around the Hellenistic period, this happened when we were dealing with captivity under Nicanor, etc. So we're going to be reading First Maccabees chapter 7, and we're going to be reading Second Maccabees chapter 15. Those two chapters is going to basically get straight to the point and give us a nice little account of the things that we had to go through. All right. So we're going to start at First Maccabees chapter 7, verse number 5.
Just a book.
Lock it. Verse 5. Yeah, verse 5 is fine.
The other one is second, please.
First Maccabees.
Yeah, the other one. The second.
First Maccabees chapter 7, verse 1. First Maccabees chapter 7, verse 1. We're going to read the whole chapter. All right, so go ahead when you're ready.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 1. In the 101 and 15th year, Demetrius, the son of Seleucus, departed from Rome and came up with a few men unto a city of the sea coast and reigned there. And as he entered into the palace of his ancestors, so it was that his forces had taken Antioch and Celis to bring them unto him. Wherefore, when he knew it, he said, let me not see their faces. So his host slew him. Now when Demetrius was set up upon the throne of his kingdom, there came unto him all the wicked and ungodly men of Israel, having Alchemist, who was desirous to be high priest for their captain.
So right here you have King Demetrius ruling. He's ruling right now, and then you have a coon by the name of Alchemist. All right, Alchemist, he wants to be high priest at this moment, right?
And they accused the people to the king, saying, Judas and his brethren have slain all thy friends and driven us out of our own land.
So right here you have Alchemist, the coon, trying to get on Demetrius' good side, lying on Judah Maccabees. So he's doing, at this moment, you have an Israelite showing so much hatred to his brother and cooning that he's telling so much lies on Judah Maccabees just to be on the side of King Demetrius. Get on his good side. Read.
Now therefore send some man whom thou trustest, and let him go and see what havoc he have made among us, and in the king's land, and let him punish them with all them that ate him.
So now he's telling the king, hey, go see what Judah Maccabees did. See the havoc that they've caused. Because remember, just now, the brother read how Alchemist was telling King Demetrius all type of lies to get on his side. So now part of that lie is Alchemist is trying to tell King Demetrius, hey, send some man so they can see all the wicked things that Judah Maccabees did. All right, so he's just lying. Go ahead.
Then the king chose Maccabees, a friend of the king who ruled beyond the flood and was a great man in the kingdom and faithful to the king.
Read.
And him he sent with that wicked alchemist.
So King Demetrius, he paired Bacchides and Alchemists together. He's going to send them together. Right now, he's pairing them together. Read.
Whom he made high priest and commanded that he should take vengeance of the children of Israel.
All right, so there you go. They're trying to seek vengeance on us. All right. Why? Because of the lies that Alchemists decided to tell on Judah Maccabees. Read.
So they departed and came with a great power unto the land of Judea, where they sent messengers of Judas and his brethren with peaceable words deceitfully.
So they came with great power. They came with an army. So after Alchemists lied on Judah Maccabees, Demetrius sent an army. All right, they sent an army with peaceful words. You know how Esau do, right? They come peacefully, friendly, etc. Right? Read.
But they gave no heed to their words, for they saw that they were come with a great power.
But we wasn't really trusting them because, first of all, we were thinking like, wait, if they're coming peacefully, why do they have to have an army with them? Right? Read.
Then did there assemble unto alchemists and Bacchides a company of scribes to require justice. Now the Assyrians were the first among the children of Israel that saw peace of them.
So some of our people right here being called the Assyrians, we believe them. We were like, okay, let's have peace. Remember, we read earlier, they came with peaceful, deceitful words. Some of our people, some of the Jews, the Assyrians, they were like, all right, let's have peace. They fell for it. Read.
For said they, one that is a priest of the seed of Aaron is come with this army, and he will do us no wrong.
So the Assyrians, they were like, wait, this is Alchemist. He's from the seed of Aaron, a Levite. So we're fine. That's our people. Alchemist's not going to do nothing to us. Read.
So he spake unto them peacefully and sware unto them, saying, we will procure the harm neither of you nor your friends.
All right, that's what Alchemist said. Read.
Whereupon they believed him.
And we believe them. Read.
Howbeit he took of them 60 men.
So they took 60 of our men. 1 score is 20. 3 score, that's 60. So they took 60 of our men. Read.
And slew them in one day.
So because of us listening to those deceitful words, 60 of our people died that day. Read.
According to the words which he wrote.
All right, go to Sirach. All right, go to Sirach real quick. 12 and 10. That's why the Bible says this right here in Sirach 12 and 10. That the brother's going to pull out right now.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
All right, so the Bible makes it clear, never trust your enemy. Of course, you know, the Assyrians, we saw Alchemist, who is a Jew already, so we that's the reason we trusted him, but at the same time, we should have thought more like, wait, why does he have the enemy's army with him? Right? So they didn't really think it straight, and because of that, 60 of our men end up dying. So the Bible says never trust your enemies. Right? Read.
The flesh of thy saints have they cast out, and their blood have they shed around about Jerusalem, and there was none to bury them.
All right, so that's Sirach 12 and 10.
Oh, you want to keep reading?
Yeah, Sirach 12 and 10.
Verse 11.
Read 10
I'm reading
again.
from the top. Sirach chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
So that's why you don't trust them, right? It don't matter how calm and peaceful they come. Just like iron get rusty, guess what? Their wickedness is gonna show.
That's right.
You put iron in the outside in the rain, that's gonna get rusty eventually, right? You keep trusting them, eventually they're gonna show you them their wickedness, right? Now let's go to Psalms 55 and 21.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 55. Verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
Hey, that's what Esau did to the Native Americans, right? Smooth, buttery words, nice sounding, gentle words, right, to the Native Americans, right? Same thing right here to the Assyrians. Came very peaceful, with peaceful words, read.
But war was in his heart.
But they just want to kill. Wiped out almost all of the so-called Native Americans, right? Tribe of Gad, right? Killed 60 of our men for decided to trust them right here in 1 Maccabees chapter 7. So they come peaceful, but at the end of the day, they don't have no good intentions. And history just shows you that over and over and over and over again. All right, let's go to Proverbs 16 and 29. We're going to go over a couple more precepts before we get back to Maccabees. Proverbs 16 and 29.
16, 20. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 29. A violent man.
What is Esau?
A violent man.
Right? Always trying to kill somebody. Kill some. Go! Just kill all these animals in the rainforest for what? You got families of lions, deers, giraffes. You just killing them for what? Right? So that violent man Esau, read.
Enticeth his neighbor and leadeth him into the way that is not good.
That violent man like to entice you, like to speak smooth words to you. But at the end of the day, they set a trap for you. They leading you to destruction, an outcome that's not good for you. All right? So that's all Esau does. He loves to be violent, aggressive, kill, bloodshed, right? He thinking about all of that while he speaking peaceful to you, looking at you in your eye, right? Bringing you gifts, right? Let's go to Psalms 18:48. Psalms 18:48. So when you pray, it's good to definitely include this in your prayer, especially when Jacob's trouble kick off. You definitely want to include this in your prayer. Go ahead.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 18, verse 48. He delivereth me from mine enemies. Yea, thou liftest me up above those that rise up against me. Thou hast delivered me from the violent man.
All right. So, hey, you want to pray that you get saved from that violent man. All right. And again, who's the violent man? Esau. All through the Bible, right? All the way from the birthright. He sold the birthright, but yet he want to kill us. Like, that don't make sense. All right, so when you pray, definitely include that in your prayer, especially when Jacob's trouble kick off. Pray that God save you from the violent man who's willing to pull you over, shoot you if he have to, right? Throw you in jail just because you forgot to turn on your blinkers. Get violent with you just because you getting the driver license that he just asked for too quick. You moving a little too quick, grabbing that driver license, so he ready to get violent with you, right? Let's go to Obadiah 1 and 10. Obadiah chapter 1 verse 10.
This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob.
Right? Esau, his violence against us. Read.
Shame shall cover thee.
Right?
And thou shalt be cut off forever.
Right? They got to get exterminated forever. Non-stop violence. Right? The Assyrians fell for the trap, the peaceful words right here in Maccabees 7, and they're going to kill 60 of the men. Like, why? Right? Non-stop violence. Non-stop violence. History just repeats itself over and over and over. Right? Yeah, till this day. Right? Tomorrow, best believe somewhere on this earth, Esau going to be oppressing or people somewhere in some way, shape, or form. We gonna either get pulled over, we're gonna get a gun pointed at us, we're gonna get roughed up, or they probably gonna kill us. Right? Somewhere on this earth, that's gonna be taking place tomorrow. Unfortunately. All right, let's go back on First Maccabees, chapter 7. All right, so read verse 16 again.
First Maccabees chapter 7, verse 16. Whereupon they believed him, howbeit he took of them 60 men.
Killed 60 men, read.
And slew them in one day.
One day, right? Trusting, if you let yourself trust Esau, you basically just you setting yourself up for suicide. When you put your trust in Esau, that's another form of suicide. All right? Go ahead.
According to the words which he wrote, the flesh of thy saints have they cast out, and their blood have they shed around about Jerusalem. And there was none to bury them.
So they were killing our people so much, no one was there to bury them. It was just bloodshed everywhere, right? All over Jerusalem. Go ahead.
Wherefore the fear and dread of them fell upon all the people, who said, there is neither truth nor righteousness in them.
So our people is realizing, hey, they liars. They don't got no truth. They don't got no righteousness, right? They don't care about God's laws, right? If only our people could realize that today. But instead, we too busy cooning, right? We try to tell our people that Israelite salvation is for them. What about the white man? You didn't say, what about the Chinese? You didn't say, what about the Africans that sold us? You didn't say, what about the Indians, the Egyptians? What about the white man? That's the first person that come out of their mouth. Read.
For they have broken the covenant and oath that they made.
That's what they do in history. They just keep breaking every promise. It's another word for covenant. They just break every promise that they make. Again, ask the so-called Native Americans. They'll tell you, right? They mad about it. Every so-called Thanksgiving, right? The real Gadites that know history, they mad about it. They get extra mad every Thanksgiving, so-called Thanksgiving. They get remembered of how people's getting ready to celebrate their destruction. Read.
After this removed Bacchus from Jerusalem and pitched his tents in Bezek.
Read.
Where he sent and took many of the men that had forsaken him, and certain of them, the people also. And when he had slain them, he cast them into the great pit.
So they were killing a lot of our people and throwing us in pits. Right? So first they kill us and don't bury us, then they just kill you and throw you in the pit. Right? That's what Esau and them think about us. Go ahead.
Then committed he the country to Alchemists, and left with him a power to aid him. So Bacchus went to the king.
So then he gave Alchemists the country. He gave Alchemists the country. He left him some man to help aid him, all right, in this fight. All right, verse 21.
But Alchemists contended for the high priesthood.
But Alchemist, he was focused on the high priesthood. I mean, how do you pronounce his name? Bacchites?
Yeah.
Bacchites, he was, Alchemist, he appreciated the army, the men that Bacchites gave him to aid him in the fight and stuff. But he was more focused on, like, the high priesthood, right? That wasn't enough for him. Read. And yes, remember, Alchemist is an Israelite, a coon, right? If you ever watch Boondocks, that's Alchemist, Uncle Ruckus. Read.
And unto him restored all such as troubled the people who, after they had gotten the land of Judah into their power, did much hurt in Israel.
Read.
Now when Judas saw all the mischief that Alchemist and his company had done among the Israelites, even both the heathen.
So this is brought to Judah Maccabees' attention. He's seeing all these wicked things that Alchemist is doing. Read.
He went out into all the coasts of Judea round about and took vengeance of them that had revolted from him, so that they durst no more go forth into the country.
So he got vengeance. Read.
On the other side, when Alchemist saw that Judas and his company had gotten the upper hand and knew that he was not able to abide their force, he went again to the king and said all the worst of them that he could.
So here we go, Alchemist again, right?
Someone is at the front door.
Alchemist sucking up to the king again. Now he telling the king, hey, now this is all the things that Judah Maccabees, this the extra things he did now. The first time he lied on Judah Maccabees, the first time. This time he's saying extra things that Judah Maccabees did. All right, go ahead.
Verse number 26. Then the king sent Nicanor, one of his honorable princes.
So this is where Nicanor the Edomite come into play, right? After Alchemist decided to communicate with the king, he then sent Nicanor. This is an Edomite. Read.
A man that bare deadly hate unto Israel.
All right, so that's how this Edomite feel about us. He has deadly hate towards us. All right, and to be honest, that's how a lot of Edomites feel about us secretly. They had this one video online where it was some Edomites. They was at home chilling, regular day, just being very racist, saying some very racist things. And whoever was there in their house was recording it. It had went viral. They were saying some of the most racist things about Israelites that you could think of. All right, well, go ahead.
With commandment to destroy the people. So Nicanor came to Jerusalem with a great force and sent unto Judas and his brethren deceitfully with friendly words.
So now Nicanor the Edomite, he's now trying the deceitful, friendly word tactic. So he's trying to see how that's going to play out for him. Right? Read.
Saying, let there be no battle between me and you. I will come with a few men that I may see you in peace.
Long story short, he's saying, hey, we come in peace. Let's be friends. We don't want to fight. We're only going to come with a few men. We're not going to come with an army like Alchemist did, right? We got to make it more believable. So we just going to come with a couple men, right? Read.
He came, therefore, to Judas, and they saluted one another peacefully. Howbeit, the enemies were prepared to take away Judas by violence.
So there you go, right? He came peacefully to Judah Maccabees, but the whole time they was ready to kill him. Just take him by all means necessary. If you got to kill him, kill him. It don't matter. We're going to take you by force, whether you want to or not. That was their mindset, right? They were just trying to basically kidnap Judah Maccabees by violence if they had to. Read.
Which thing after it was known to Judas.
So he figured it out, right? Judah Maccabees, he's catching on to it. Read.
To wit, that he came unto him with deceit.
He find out that he's lying. Nicanor is lying to him. Read.
He was sore afraid of him and would see his face no more.
So Judah Maccabees, when he found out Nicanor is lying and he's really trying to destroy him, he left. Read.
Nicanor also, when he saw that his counsel was discovered.
So Nicanor found out. He was like, damn, Judah Maccabees knows what I'm trying to do. He knows what my plan, my plot actually is towards him. Read.
Went out to fight against Judas, besides Capra Salem.
So he's like, look,
Salem.
right? My plan is discovered anyways, so I might as well just go fight. Right? There's no point of trying to do things sneakily anymore, right? I might as well just go and fight. Read.
where there were slain of Nicanor's side about 5,000 men.
All right, so Nicanor, 5,000 of his men got put to death. All right, read.
And the rest fled into the city of David.
Keep going.
And this went Nicanor up to Mount Sion, and there came out of the sanctuary certain of the priests and certain of the elders.
So he went where our priests and elders were at. All right, Nicanor. He's in the Mount Zion where priests and elders are at. Read.
Of the people, and salute him peacefully, and to show him the burnt sacrifice that he burnt sacrifice that was offered for the king.
So he came with peaceful words to the elders. All right, go ahead.
But he mocked them and laughed at them and abused them shamefully and spake proudly.
So he decided to mock our priests, our elders, right? He decided to just, he didn't care. Speak proud, right? Laugh. It was all, at this point, for Nicanor, it's all fun and games for Nicanor. But I think he forgot about Luke 6:25. Let's go to that.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 6, verse 25. Woe unto you that are full, for ye shall hunger. Woe unto you that laugh now, for ye shall mourn and weep.
So he having a good time, right? Mocking the priests, the Levites, laughing. Right? It's all fun and games, right? It's all fun and games until it's time. Hey, well, we're going to find out. Hey, his time is going to come. His morning is going to come when we get to the end of this chapter. All right, let's go back to the Maccabees. And matter of fact, Galatians 6:7. Let's get that. That's fine. Galatians 6 and 7. Hey, and this is good for when you out there teaching, right? They be mocking. They be mocking, or fringes. They be making fun of the fringes, right? Y'all dress like Power Rangers. Okay, all fun and games. I'll just be like, okay, keep that same energy when that sky opens. When you see your HOI come with fringes, the same fringes that we got, that you making fun of, right? When he come with his holy garment, tell him that he dressed like a Power Ranger and see how that work out for you. All right? Keep the same energy. Galatians 6:7.
It's the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse number 7. Be not deceived, God is not mocked.
So by Nicanor mocking the priests, right, and the elders, he mocking God. The priests, they got a close relationship with God, right? So the Bible says, be not deceived, God is not mocked. Read.
For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
So we're going to see how Nicanor reaped the mocking later on, right? We're going to see how he reaped the mocking later on. All right, let's go back now. Maccabees.
First Maccabees chapter 7, verse 35. And swear in his mouth, and swear in his wrath, saying, unless Judas and his hosts be now delivered unto my hands, if ever I come again in safety, I will burn up this house. And with that, he went out in a great rage.
So look, right? After he decided to speak proudly and mock the priests and the elders, not only that, he going to threaten us, right? He going to burn up the house, the temple. Ain't no way God going to let me get away with that. And he left with a rage. Let me get Psalms 2:1. Right? Why are you raging? All because you want Judah Maccabees. You think the priests and elders really going to bring you Judah Maccabees so you could kill him?
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 2, verse number 1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing?
Right? So right here you got Nicanor raging. He imagining vanity. Again, you getting angry. You really think these priests are going to deliver Judah Maccabees to you? That's vanity for you to even think that. It's not happening. Right? They're not alchemists, no. Alchemists are cool. priests and the elders. They don't got that coon blood in them. All right. Let's go back. Verse 36.
God. First Maccabees chapter 7, verse 36. Then the priest entered in and stood before the altar and the temple, weeping and saying.
All right. So hey, they're crying, right? Go ahead.
Thou, O Lord, didst choose this house to be called by thy name, and to be a house of prayer and petition for thy people.
Mm-hmm.
Be avenged of this man and his host.
So they crying out to Yahweh, right, to avenge the temple, the house, right? Let me get real quick, John chapter 11, verse 35. John 11, verse 35. Why are they crying out? Because they just got threatened with their life and for the temple to get burnt up.
This is the book of John, chapter 11, verse 35.
One of the shortest scriptures in the Bible. Read.
H.O.I. wept.
Right, there you go, right? So it's okay for the priests, right, the elders, to weep, especially after getting their life threatened, especially after getting the temple, after Nicanor threatening to burn down the temple, right? They wept. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Or King of Kings could weep. Why not the elders and the priests for such a threat that Nicanor gave them? All right, let's go back to Maccabees.
First Maccabees chapter 1, First Maccabees chapter 7, verse number 38. Be avenged of this man and his host, and let them fall by the sword.
All right, so they crying out to Yahweh, right, so that Nicanor and his men could fall by the sword. They could die. Read.
Remember their blasphemies and suffer them not to continue any longer.
Right? It'll probably be wise to include that in your prayer too sometime when you pray. For God to remember these wicked men, these Edomites, and all the blasphemies that they're doing this very day, right? All the threats and actual killing and oppression that they put our people through, right? So God could avenge us, destroy them. All right, read.
So Nicanor went out of Jerusalem and pitched his tents in Beth Horon, where an host out of Syria met him. But Judas pitched in Adassa with 3,000 men, and there he prayed, saying, O Lord, when they that were sent from the king of the Syrians blasphemy, thy angel went out and smite 184,500 of them.
So he's praying, saying, hey Lord, last time they blasphemed, you had your angels kill a lot of them. All right, read.
Even so destroy thou this host before us.
And the same way you had your angel kill them, kill Nicanor. Please kill him, get rid of him. Read.
This day, that the rest may know that he hath spoken blasphemously against thy sanctuary, and judge thou him according to his wickedness.
Right. Remember, he said he's going to burn the temple. Right. Read.
So the 13th day in the month Adar, the host joined battle, but Nicanor's host was discomforted, and he himself was first slain in the battle.
So Nicanor was the first one that got put to death. Which is strange, because you know what? At the end of the day, usually you have the person that's in charge, usually they like in the back. They let the army go first, right? And they in the back. Nicanor, he went out and got himself killed, right? So he wasn't even wise when it came to war, right? But yeah, all praise to the Most High. He got destroyed, read.
Then they persuaded after them a day's journey from Adassa unto Gazara, sounding an alarm after them with their trumpets.
All right, so Nicanor's men was chased, right? First, Nicanor died. Then they went after his men. Read.
Whereupon they came forth out of all the towns of Judea round about and closed them in,
And they were getting surrounded. Read.
so that they, turning back upon them that persuaded them, pursued them, were all slain with the sword, and not one of them was left.
So all of Nicanor's men got put to death. Right?
Huh.
Keep going.
Afterwards they took the spoils and the prey, and smite off Nicanor's head.
So Nicanor got his head chopped off. Read.
Huh.
And his right hand.
Cut off his hand. Remember, Nicanor said he was gonna burn the temple. You can't burn it no more with no hands.
Yes.
Read.
Which he stretched out so proudly.
Right? He was being proud. Hey, the way he was talking so reckless and disrespectful to the priests and the elders. I mean, he had something coming. Read.
And brought them away, and hung them up toward Jerusalem.
Read.
For this cause the people rejoiced greatly, and they kept that day a day of great gladness.
So destruction of Nicanor is supposed to be kept with gladness, not with a woes me spirit. All right, you keep it with gladness. You got to remember the things that took place, how we overcame our enemies. All right, specifically this devil, Nicanor. All right, read.
Moreover, they obtained to keep yearly this day.
So every year you have to keep the instruction of Nicanor, right? You don't get to pick, right? There's no picking and choosing. You have to keep it. Read.
Being the 13th of Adar, thus the land of Judah was to rest a little while.
So it was at rest for a while. Let's go to 2 Maccabees. All right, we're gonna wrap it up with 2 Maccabees, chapter 15. So in 2 Maccabees, some of the stuff that we're gonna read in 2 Maccabees is gonna be a little bit similar. At the end, it's just gonna tell you a little bit more details later on at the end. All right, go ahead.
Book of First Slakia, 2 Maccabees, chapter 15, verse 1. But Nicanor, hearing that Judas and his company were in the strong places about Samaria, resolved without any danger to set upon them on the Sabbath day.
All right, read.
Nevertheless, the Jews that were compelled to go with him said, "Oh, destroy not so cruelly and barbarously, but give honor to that day which he that seeth all things have honored with holiness above other days."
So some of the Jews that decided to coon, right, and went with Nicanor, they told Nicanor, hold up, don't cause issues on the Sabbath day. Let's remember, this is a holy day, right? The God above, hey, he made this day holy and separate. So let's honor this day. That's what he told Nicanor. And let's see what Nicanor, demonic self, says in the next verse. Read.
Then the most ungracious rich demand if there were a mighty one in heaven.
So Nicanor said, if it was a God in heaven, read.
That had commanded the Sabbath day to be kept.
That did command y'all to keep the Sabbath day.
And when they said, there is in heaven a living Lord.
We said it is a living Lord. Read.
A mighty who commanded the seventh day to be kept.
Read.
Upon the earth.
So Nicanor is like, well, I'm mighty on the earth. So what's up? Read.
And I command to take arms and to do the king's business.
And I know your God wants you to keep the Sabbath day, but I'm trying to uphold the king's business. Read.
Yet he obtained not to have his wicked will done.
Go to Psalms 14:1.
Ooh.
Thank
Yeah,
Right,
that's good.
it's
That's
here.
good. That's good.
Shalom, brother. You here? Okay. It's in apartment E. Okay, in the back. All right. Thaddeus is gonna. In a second, he's parking right now.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
Psalm chapter 14, verse 1.
Mhm.
The fool
Nicanor.
have said in his heart,
Nicanor said in his heart,
there is no God.
and because of that, we're gonna die. We're all gonna get exterminated, right? Till this very day, you got Edomites easily confessing God is not real. Easily able to confess that without any guilt, any fear, just easily. Like Nicanor proudly spoke. All right, read. Let's get back to the Maccabees.
Verse 6. So Nicanor, in exceedingly pride and haughtiness, determined to set up a public monument of his victory over Judas and them that were with him.
All right, so again, the Bible is letting you know, right? These Edomites are proud. Nicanor is an Edomite. They are proud, a proud people. Very, very proud people, but proud for all the wrong reasons. All right? Remember, the Bible says pride comes before what?
Destruction.
Destruction, right? So, I mean, they could, enjoy being prideful for now, right? It's going to come a day where you're going to get destroyed. Matter of fact, let's get that in Obadiah real quick. 1 in 18. We're going to go to 9, right? 18, let's get 18, then we're going to go to 9. We're going to do both of them. Might as well. We're in the chapter already, might as well.
Start at 9.
All right, let's get that 18.
Oh, 18.
We're going to do 9 after. Go ahead.
Obadiah chapter 1, verse 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble.
Ashes, right? Nicanor, it's going to come a time where Nicanor is going to be ashes. All the Edomites going to be ashes under your feet, right? Verse 9.
Verse 9. And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter.
So they're all going to get exterminated. So for those of y'all Israelites that are new in the truth, for some reason still trying to save Edomites and apply Romans 11 to the Edomites, right? You still for some reason don't understand John 3:16, right? You still trying to say the Edomites are the Gentiles, neither Jew nor Greek, right? Y'all gonna have to explain Obadiah, right? And then it gets worse when you go to Isaiah, where H.O.I, tells you their blood is gonna be sprinkled on his clothing. So you're gonna have to explain these scriptures. If they're gonna receive salvation, if H.O.I is gonna save them, why are their blood going to be sprinkled on his clothes? Right?
Garment's going to be dipped like a wine press. Like
yeah, their points don't stand. Right? You got a precept or something?
No, you good.
Okay, let's go back.
Where we at? 15 and 8. Go up. Second Maccabees chapter 15, verse number 8. Wherefore he exhorted his people not to fear the coming of the heathen against them.
So this is Judah Maccabees. He's trying to encourage his people. Yes, right? We know Nicanor's coming, right? He's coming for war. But he's trying to exhort them, uplift them, encourage them, and get in the spirit. Right? Keep going.
But to remember the help which in former times they have received from heaven, and now to accept the victory and aid.
Expect the victory.
Expect the victory and aid.
So expect that we're going to have assistance again. Expect that Yahweh is not just going to watch us get destroyed. Expect that he's going to have his angels come and help us. Why? Because we actually fear God. Psalm 34:7.
book of Psalms, chapter 34, verse 7. The angel of the Lord encampeth around about them that fear him.
All right, so there you go. Right, so expect that Yahweh's angel that's in the heavens, they're going to encamp around you and protect you because you fear God. Right? You fearing God, so you'll be fine. And how are you fearing God? Psalms 111 and 10.
This book of Psalms, chapter 111, verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endure forever.
All right. So read verse 8 again in Maccabees, 2nd Maccabees. All right. 15 and 8. You here, brother? In the address, brother, in the back. You mind checking?
Yeah.
Just you see that long driveway? Yeah, just walk to the back. The brother's gonna open the door right now. See him? No, it's an apartment building, brother. He's gonna walk to the front, so just look, okay? All right, verse 8.
This is book of second.
Go ahead.
Book of 2nd Maccabees, chapter 15, verse 8. Wherefore he exhorted his people not to fear the coming of the heathen against them.
So again, he's encouraging them. Hey, don't be fearful. All right, don't be fearful. Read.
But to remember the help which in former times they have received from heaven, and now to accept the victory and aid,
All right, read.
which should come unto them from the Almighty.
Right. So just expect. Hey, just expect to win this war. Right? Why? Because Yahweh is gonna help us. That's why. All right. You can sit over there, brother. Yeah. Right. So he's letting them know. Look, hey, just expect this victory. We're gonna win. Yahweh's gonna be with us. His angels gonna be with us. So we're gonna be fine. Right? Read.
And so comforting them out of the law and the prophets, and withal putting them in mind of the battles that they won afore.
So he was reminding them of the battles that they won before. All right, and we are in 2nd Maccabees chapter 15, verse number 9. Read.
He made them more cheerful.
So our people, we got exhorted and we got more cheerful. That fear started to go away. So he did a good job uplifting his brothers. Read.
And when he had stirred up their minds, he gave them their charge.
So he commanded them. Read.
Showing them where therewithal the falsehood of the heathen and the breach of oath.
So he showed, look, these heathens was lying. They broke the oath. All right, the promise. Remember that peace promise? They broke it. Read.
Thus he armed every one of them, not so much with defense of shields and spears.
So he was arming them, but not really with weapons. Read.
As with comfortable and good words.
But with exhorting words. To get that fear out of them. Read.
And besides that, he told them a dream worthy to be believed, as if it had been so indeed, which did not a little rejoice them.
All right, verse 12.
And this was his vision that Ananias, who had been high priest, a virtuous and good man, reverend in conversation, gentle in condition, well spoken also, and exercised from a child in all points of virtue, holding up his hands, prayed for the whole body of the Jews.
All right, so look, when y'all pray, don't be selfish and pray for yourself, right? Pray for all the Jews. Same thing like Paul did in the book of Romans, right? My prayer and desire that who be saved? Israel.
Israel.
That's right. All Israel, right? Go ahead, verse 13.
Verse 13. This done, in like manner, there appeared a man with gray hairs, and exceeding glorious, who was a wonderful and excellent majesty. Then Ananias answered, saying, This is a lover of the brethren, who prayed much for the people and for the holy city, to wit Jeremiah, the prophet of God.
All right, read.
Whereupon Jeremiah, holding forth his right hand, gave to Judas a sword of gold, and in giving it spake thus: Take this holy sword, a gift from God, with the which thou shalt wound and evangelize.
Wound the adversary. So remember, all this that we're reading is what Judah Maccabees is still telling the man to help uplift their spirit for the war. All right, read.
Thus being well comforted by the words of Judas.
See, they got comforted by all these words that Judah Maccabees told them, right? Because again, we were fearful at first. We knew Nicanor was coming and he had a whole army behind him. So we needed some type of exhortation. And, now we're comforted, as you see in verse 17. Read.
Thus being well comforted by the words of Judas, which were very good and able to stir them up to valor.
So we got in the spirit. We ready now for war. Read.
And to encourage the hearts of the young men, they determined not to pitch camp, but courageously to set upon them, and manfully to try the matter by conflict, because the city of the sanctuary and the temple were in danger. For the care that they took for their wives and their children, their brethren and kinfolks, was in the least account with them, but the greatest and principal fear was for the holy temple.
So yes, we were fearful. We wanted to protect our children and brethren, but we really wanted to make sure that temple was also okay. Why again? Nicanor was trying to burn down the temple when he went to mock the priests and the elders. Read.
Also they were in the city, took not the least care, being troubled for the conflict of war. And now, when as all looked that should be the trial, and the enemies were already come near, and the army was set in array, and the beasts conveniently placed, and the horsemen set in wings. Maccabees, seeing the coming of the multitude and the diverse preparations of armor.
So Maccabees, he sees their army coming with these great armors. Read.
And the fierceness of the beast stretched out his hand toward heaven, and called upon the Lord that worketh wonders, knowing the victory cometh not by arms.
So victory don't come by the weapons that you have, right? It's not about the weapons that you have. I mean, right now, 2024, you could say that, Babylon could go to a smaller country because they got better weapons and overcome them, right? But we're going to see some right now. Read.
But even as it seemeth good to him, he giveth it to such as are worthy.
But at the end of the day, winning a war comes from God. Overall, winning a war, it comes from God, who God's deemed worthy. All right. So, for example, we don't have no weapons, right? When Jacob trouble pop off, these little guns and all these little things ain't gonna do nothing compared to the cannons and laser beams and all type of flying drones and stuff that Esau have. But guess what? We're gonna win the war still. Why? Because Yahweh is gonna deem us worthy.
That's right.
Just like right here in Maccabees, verse 21, right? They still gonna win. It don't matter how much weapons Nicanor and them have. They not the ones that's worthy. We are right here in Maccabees. So we're still gonna win it. All right, read.
Therefore, in his prayer, he said after this manner, O Lord, thou didst send thy angel in thy time of Isaiah, king of Judea, and did it slay in the host of
Sennacherib, go ahead.
Sennacherib and 180,000. Wherefore now also, O Lord of heaven, send a good angel before us, for a fear and dread unto them.
All right, read.
And though the might of thine arm, let those be stricken with terror that come against thy holy people to blasphemy. And he ended thus.
All right, so now again, we crying out to the Lord, asking him to send an angel to defend us. All right, why? Because the same people that's blaspheming against us, Nicanor, right? We need him to be destroyed. Read.
Then Nicanor and they that were with him came forward with trumpets and songs. But Judas and his company encountered the enemies with invocation and prayer.
Mm-hmm. So look, yeah, right? So Nicanor came flashy. We just came back with prayer. Right? Read. 27.
Oh, it says so. Okay, God. So that fighting with their hands and praying unto God with their hearts, they slew no less than 35,000 men.
Right? So while we were fighting, we praying with our heart or mind. Right? And we killed about 5,000 men. Read.
For though the appearance of God, they were greatly cheered.
Right? God was with us. Read.
Now when the battle was done, returning again with joy, they knew that Nicanor lay dead in his hardness.
So they're like, wait, Nicanor, he's dead right now. Read.
Then they made a great shout and a noise, praising the Almighty in their own language.
Hebrew. Read. Prove that. Acts 26:14. Remember, Yahushua is an Israelite, right? So let's see what language Yahushua spoke as an Israelite. So we can find out what language we're speaking as well.
It's the book of Acts, chapter 26, verse 14. And when we were all fallen to the earth, I heard a voice speaking unto me and saying in the Hebrew tongue.
Not in the English tongue.
Hebrew tongue.
All right, so let's go back. Verse 29, 2 Maccabees 15 and 29.
Book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 15, verse 29. Then they made a great shout and a noise, praising the Almighty in their own language.
Paleo Hebrew, it was not Yiddish, right? Mixed with German, right? Not that fake Hebrew, not that. All right, read.
And Judas, who was ever the chief defender.
So Judas, he was a warrior. That's the type of man he was. He was a warrior. All right, read.
Of the citizens, both in body and mind, and who continued his love toward his countrymen all his life.
So Judas, he was always focused on defending our people, making sure we're safe. Read.
Commanded to strike off Nicanor's head.
Judas said, hey, just cut off his head. So remember, we read that in 1 Maccabees chapter 7. So it's telling us it again right here in 2 Maccabees 15. Except it's just going to get a little bit more detailed right now. Read.
And his hand with his shoulder.
Right. And his hand. Read.
And bring them to Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
So when he was there and he called them of his nation together and set the priests before the altar, he sent for them that were of the tower.
Mm-hmm.
And showed them vile Nicanor's head and the hand of that blasphemer.
So he lift up his head like that, right? He has his head in his hand, read.
Which with proud brags he has stretched out against the holy temple of the Almighty.
Mm-hmm.
And when he had cut out the tongue.
Remember, with that same tongue, he was being very blasphemous, mocking, talking about burning down the temple. That same tongue, well, he can't speak like that no more. It got chopped off. Read.
tongue of the ungodly Nicanor.
Mm-hmm.
He commanded that they should give it by pieces unto the fowls.
We're going to feed his tongue to the birds. Right? Read.
And hang up the reward of his madness before the temple.
And we're going to hang his head up.
Ah, by Hashem Mashiach.
So every man prays toward the heaven, the glorious Lord, saying, Blessed be he that hath kept his own place undefiled.
Mm-hmm.
He hanged also Nicanor's head upon the tower, and evident the manifest sign unto all of the help of the Lord.
Read.
And they obtained all.
Ordained. Read it again.
And they ordained all with a common decree in no case to let that day pass without solemnity.
So the destruction of Nicanor, you have to let you have to celebrate the destruction of Nicanor. You can't just let it pass. Read.
But to celebrate the 13th day of the 12th month, which in the Syrian tongue is called Adar, the day of Mordecai's day.
So that's Purim, all right, which is right after this. All right, we have Purim. Read.
Thus went it with Nicanor, and from that time forth the Hebrews had the city in their power. And here will I make an end. And if I have done well, and as if fitting the story, it is that which I desired. But if slanderly and meanly, it is that which I could attain unto. For as it is hurtful to drink wine or water alone, and as wine mingled with water is pleasant.
So verse 39 is actually telling you something. You just gotta listen to it closely. So read it again.
From the top. For as it is hurtful to drink wine or water alone, and as wine mingled with water is pleasant, and delighteth the taste, even so speech finely framed delighteth the ear of them that read the story, and here shall be an end.
So 39 is basically just letting you know, like originally, you know how it says Nicanor's head was chopped off, you know, his tongue was cut off, his hands was cut off. Originally, it was more gruesome, but they watered it down. That's why I said the wine and the water mixed together. It was watered down. All right, so when we read it, it could be like, you know, our ears could deal with it because it was just gruesome. All right, Judah Maccabees was not someone to play with. All right, go to Judges 5 and 11. So we're gonna read real quick why does it even matter to keep these feast days, right? What's the purpose? Why do it even matter?
It's the book of Judges, chapter 5, verse 11. They that delivered from the noise of archers in the places and drawing water.
So the people that get saved from the nuclear weapons, those are the archers. Read.
There shall they rehearse the righteous acts.
Those same people that get saved, they're going to be rehearsing, practicing the righteous acts. Go to Romans 8 and 4. Let's find out what the righteous acts is. So the people that get saved from the archers, the nuclear weapons, those same people will be rehearsing the righteous acts. What is that? Romans 8 and 4.
Romans chapter 8, verse 4. That the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us.
So those same people that get saved will be keeping the laws. All right. The people that don't get hit by the nuclear weapons are going to be the same one that's keeping all of the laws. Go to Sirach 14 and 14.
Sirach chapter 14, verse 14. Defraud not thyself of the good day.
So today, don't defraud yourself. Today, make sure you have a good time, right? Celebrate, eat some good food, right? Drink some good wine. Read.
And let not the part of a good desire overpass thee.
All right, so don't defraud yourself. Have a good time on this feast day. All right, go to Sirach 9:16.
Sirach chapter 9 verse 16. And let just men eat and drink with thee.
So those are people you want to feast with, just men. All right, the book of Romans makes it very clear what's just. The laws of God is holy and just. Romans chapter 7 verse 12. All right, let's grab that real quick. So feast with just men. Read.
Romans chapter 7 verse 12. Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy, and just and good.
All right, those are the type of people you want to feast with. All right, now let's go to Ephesians 5:19. All right, we just pull a couple more scriptures and we're gonna wrap it up. Ephesians 5:19. So while you're having a good time on this feast day, right? You eating, you drinking wine, right? Just be mindful of the things you decide to do. Read.
Ephesians chapter 5 verse 19. Speaking to yourselves in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs.
So make sure you listen to spiritual songs in the feast day.
So Ephesians what?
5:19. Ephesians 5:19. Don't be playing any worldly songs on the feast days. All right. I've been in that situation where I've heard ASS, fat, all type of crazy stuff on a feast day before. Don't. All right. Be careful what you turn on the radio or whatever music is played. Be careful. All right. Now let's get Proverbs 31:5. This is actually very important. All right. This is actually very important. Proverbs 31:5.
Proverbs chapter 31 verse 5. Lest they drink and forget the law.
Don't get drunk.
That's right.
All right. You're going to mess around and forget the law. All of a sudden, you're going to be trying to fight your own brother. You're going to have sisters committing adultery, twerking on this table right here where we're reading from. All right? Don't get drunk on this feast day, right? You got to make sure y'all stay focused. All right? Y'all got to stay focused, man. But yeah, with that, all praise and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, HaMashiach, H.O.I. Happy Feast of Destruction of Nicanor. And yeah, shalom.
Shalom.
Come on.
Praise.